there's no time like the present to talk about music and keep
Yeah,
that alive. And
totally.
that's what we have to keep doing. And it's been so awesome watching all of the different bands and musicians and people just live streaming music and
Yeah.
creating all these things. And the music never stopped, and it's
No.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool time. It's weird, it's unprecedented, but at the same time, there's always opportunity in any of these weird times. So it's cool. I'm having fun. I'm like trying my best to crank out a video a day, and I'm
Yeah.
practicing and playing more than I ever have before, just because all the options are removed. I'm stuck in the house. It's like we have the family and then the
Hmm.
work, and like that's it. There's nothing else to do. So you
Yeah.
just do a lot of both, and you're really plugged in with both, and it's great. I'm kind of enjoying it actually.
That's how I feel too. As soon as everything kind of happened and I had to obviously change my podcast schedule around because
Sure.
there weren't going to be any shows, I'm like, well, let's start talking to everybody because
Yeah.
everybody's going to be home. So
That's it.
you don't have an excuse of saying you don't have any time right now. So let's do this. So
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
excited to talk to everybody and connect all these different parts of the community. That's been like one of my favorite parts of this podcast is all the people I've met from
Yeah.
all the different walks of life, but we all love this same thing. So that's been
Yeah.
really cool.
I bet. I bet. Well, where would you like to start?
Well, let's start, I guess, right now. Kind of actually introduce yourself and tell everybody where you're from, your family. You mentioned you're a soon-to-be dad of 4, and
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
like your day job and stuff like that. Give us a little bit of background to who you are.
All right. Well, my name is Michael Palmisano. I run an online teaching school, Guitargate.com, for a living. I've been doing it. Let's see. I got started in 2013. I've been doing it full time. It's been playing the bills since 2015. Um, I have 3 boys. We're about to have our 4th boy tomorrow. We're
Wow.
scheduled. We're scheduled to go in tomorrow at 4 a.m.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
congratulations, though.
thank
That's
you. So
exciting.
this has been like the craziest time ever.
Yeah,
Um,
craziest time ever to have a kid, right?
oh my God, it's just well that and you're dealing with the same thing. I'm sure your schools are closed up there.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're transitioning to homeschooling. My wife was a special ed teacher, and so she's very equipped for that. And so but we've had to transition to all of that, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, kind of how I got here, kind of how the story progressed. I've been playing guitar for, I don't remember not playing. I've been playing forever, played in bands, took lessons as a kid. Eventually, I went to school for it. I went to the Musicians Institute out in Hollywood, California, which for those if your listeners are not familiar, it's kind of like a West Coast Berkeley. It's a tech school sort of, and you go there not if you want to be first chair in a symphony. You go there if you want to be like a session or touring guitar player or drummer, et cetera, et cetera. And I went there around, let's see, I graduated 2006 or so. And when you go there, I'm telling you all this, like it'll become clear in a moment why I'm telling you all this. Um, when you go there, if you work hard and you're good enough, they used to have a direct pipeline to labels, and so you would get auditions to Capitol Records, Epic, and blah 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 blah. And so when I first started going there, uh, everybody that was graduating when I got there was working everywhere. Like they were in the bands for all the live TV shows. It was everywhere. By the time I graduated, iTunes and YouTube came out, and basically the whole record industry was demolished while I was in school to go do that. And so the internet literally like ruined my plans. So then I came home because I was broke, and the deal that I had figured out went away, just like everybody's deal did. And I did what all musicians do. I started gigging and teaching. And over that process, I guess of 7 or 8 years or so, I basically decided that I loved teaching, and that was probably even a better teacher than player. And I just loved it. And so I was teaching 50, 60 students a week. I was coaching kids' rock bands. I was gigging full-time in a full-time wedding and corporate band, doing 120 dates or so a year. And then my wife and I started having kids. And this was about 2012, 2013. And I saw that the early internet adapters, starting making money on YouTube, like your Marty Schwartz's and people like that. And so my wife was, like I said, a teacher. I was a teacher. Neither of us could make any more money. We're both kind of at our ceilings. And I just made a choice right then and there to commit to teaching and commit to teaching online. I wanted to be there for my kids. I wanted to be around. And I really liked being a teacher. I didn't want to hunt to be on stage anymore. I didn't want to get on the tour bus. I didn't want to be gone. And that's a crucial decision to make. And then I, basically lost money for a couple years. Around 2015, I figured it out. And then, like I said, I've been doing it ever since. And how this whole YouTube thing came about is, I've been doing YouTube for a while. And I've never gotten traction at all. Like, I've made hundreds of videos since 2013. None of them have ever really popped. But my business was fine because I taught myself marketing and blah, 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 and how to run ads and all that non sexy stuff. And that was fine. But then I got really burnt out making videos and, free videos for YouTube. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. And I realized this past spring that I had been spending the past 5-6 years of my life, like trying to build this business and whatever. And it worked and it became successful, but I hadn't been working on trying to be a better guitar player in a really long time. And so I took 6 months off guitar and I picked it up again like this fall. And this fall, when I picked it up, I said, you know what? I'm just going to learn what I want to learn. I want to get better at something. And I'm just going to put the camera on and I'm going to document myself just putting something on YouTube, learning it on the fly, telling people what I think about it, and literally document my process of I'm into this music and I'm going to get better. I had just started getting into the whole jam band scene. I knew about these bands, but I had never learned it. It just kind of found me. And one video turned into another and turned to another. And then eventually the jam band community, through some dead videos and fish videos, etc., it just kind of took off. And so now I've done 50 of these videos, and it's like a whole new thing. And it just happened. It just happened totally organically. I still run my business. My main job is I work with my students every day online on the website, and that's what I spend the vast majority of my day doing. But doing these videos that are fan requests has been really, really cool, because this whole genre is totally new to me. And so this you're literally watching me figure it out, and it's genuine, because I really I don't get everything right all the time, and it's clear, but I really, really enjoy it. And I've been really surprised about how supportive the fan bases have been. It's just been unbelievable, frankly. Mm-hmm. It's totally unexpected, because like I said, I've been doing this 7 years, and it's just out of nowhere. I hit a wall, was burnt out, decided to do things totally differently and explore a new kind of music, and just put the camera on, and then the people found me, and it's just, I feel like I'm on this ride now.
Mm-hmm. You are.
Yeah.
The bus came by and you got on.
If that all makes sense to you. I know that's a long-winded way of explaining myself.
No, and I love that kind of stuff. I'm so glad you shared that, because I love that kind of stuff. I have so many people that have told me stories, and I have my own story, my journey to Umphrey's. We all have stories that are similar to that, so that's very cool to hear your story.
Yeah, I mean, it's I always wanted to be you know, like the best guitar player in the world, went to school for it. Internet ruined my plans. Came home, had to teach because, you know, I had to make money, fell in love with teaching, committed to the internet. And then eventually, after a long period of time, I just started learning this new genre. And then now there's this new giant fan base that has never happened before. And I'm just pumped. I'm really pumped because like when I put the camera on and I'm learning these songs, like I have not heard them before. Like I don't know a lot of these bands. And it's like totally not intuitive. It's foreign to me. And I feel like, you know, when you've been playing for your whole life, it seems odd to find something totally new. But like it seems you think you found everything, you know, you think that you've whatever, but there's this whole world of music and incredibly rabid people who support it. And I just didn't know this world existed. It's just fascinating to me. I'm privileged to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way. I'm privileged to be a part of it, and the community is so amazing. You know, there's people that are like my sisters and brothers now at this point. It's just an awesome thing to be a part of. So how long did it take for Umphrey's to pop into your inbox? How long did it take for someone to send you something?
Well,
or mention them?
It happened fast. It happened. Okay, so there's a progression here. So it's important to state the progression because it'll make sense because you do this, you'll get it. So the first one I did was a Dead & Company video because my wife and I went to see Dead & Company this July, and this was after I had stopped playing guitar for a while, and some friends asked us to go to this show, and she's a Mayer fan, and so I was like, okay, we'll go. And we had like this great time. And like I came home, and for the first time, I was like, I felt like picking up the guitar, and I was like, I can't get a couple of these things out of my head. So the first one I did was a Dead & Company video. It didn't get much traction because I didn't have anything except my old audience then. It hadn't really been found, right? And so then I was taking requests from, but everybody was encouraging me to do this style video. So then I was taking requests from friends. You know, I did like a Zappa thing. I did whatever. And so, but it was still kind of like crickets. And then I did the Grateful Dead one where it was the Live in Winterland, the Morning Dew. And that popped. That was the one. That was the video that you know, it just started swarming. And in that video, there were in the comments, which I think there were like 1,000, and I was used to having like 100 comments would be like amazing for a video, you know? And so in that video, there were a few Umphrey's comments, but the Grateful Dead people were like they were clamoring, right? They were just insatiable. And then the Fish people came, and they were far more insatiable. You know, they're still by far the most insatiable. They are literally relentless.
They are.
I don't think they listen to other things. and so in all of those threads, there was a constant undercurrent of Umphrey's, you know, but it was like if I had 100 Fish requests or whatever, there might be 10 Umphrey's. And so I'm getting this onslaught in my email box, in my Instagram or whatever. Eventually, after I think I did maybe 10 more videos, I did the first Umphrey's at the one I did Puppet String at Red Rock. And when I posted that, I mean, one, I was let's put it this way. They're not in that same vein. Maybe people put them in that category, but it was much more like I was watching a prog rock jam band. It's like I've said it before in videos, it's like 10 different bands in one. It was another completely new universe just in itself. And then when that video popped, then a whole nother onslaught started, you know? And And then that brought about the second video, and now we're talking, and I just filmed kind of a third video, and I'm going to do more. So this is a totally naturally organic thing that's happening. You know, like I'm trying to manage all the incoming from all these different people that want whatever. And like I have people, especially the Fish fans, I can't stress this enough. They're just like shooting me money like on PayPal with requests, but like before I even agree to it, they're just like they're like, a dude shot me a 50 the other day on PayPal and just said do the Divided Sky video, and just he didn't know if I was even going to read it. He just threw it out in the ether, you know. And they just it's this is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so I have a very long list of all these different bands, and I'm trying to keep it diverse and not leave anybody out. But Umphrey's is one of those where it hit. I really, really enjoyed it. And so it's going to be in the regular rotation because I want to, like the two videos I did, they couldn't be more different. And I know that all the other ones are going to be just as different. And they are by far the most precise, tight band that I've reviewed to date, you know? And so like they are at the highest level. Like they are precise. And so I'm excited to do more of them because I have to really work my butt off and get better to be able to learn some of this stuff. And that's like where I am in this journey. Like it's not all about what people want me to do. It's like I I'm going down this rabbit hole to get better myself. And they're like, every time, you know, you see that, you know, the Jake blast or whatever, and I try to figure it out. I'm just like, well, I got to go back to the freaking woodshed because it's just so much work needs to be done. But that's the fun part.
Absolutely. And it's the same when I'm trying to review it and talk about it and dissect the jam. Sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, how am I even supposed to do this? Like, it's just next level. So let's take it like way back.
Sure.
What kind of music were you into when you were growing up?
So I was a metalhead as a child.
Okay.
I was you know, I started playing when I was very young, like when I was 5 or 6. Picked it up and put it down a few times before it stuck. It stuck probably when I was 14. And, you know, I was one of those 90s kids who, you know, was into the aggression, the angst-ridden, you know, I was a Nirvana kid. I was a Metallica kid. You know, I was definitely one of those types. So like guitar playing for me was, you know, my energy outlet, you know. It was and so I primarily listened to heavy rhythm based you know, types of music. I was not I mean that's just what I was into. Yeah. So I played heavy music pretty much predominantly all through middle school, high school, and until I kind of like went to college.
And what happened in college?
A total 180. I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but I got bit by the bluegrass bug.
Interesting.
And it was a very strange set of circumstances. I don't know how it happened, but I met some people out there. Like I said, I went to California, and you know, no one's really from California. They're all in California to do what they think they couldn't do wherever they came from. And so you meet all kinds of wild people, and they're all like the best players that wherever they came from. And I met this one guy, and he's like one of my best friends still today, and he was just heavy into this stuff. And I realized that a lot of those licks, like the physicality of it, translated. A lot of those, you know, country runs are the same as those, you know, metal runs. It's just a different sound. It's a different approach, but it translated. So like the muscle memory and the finger stuff that I had been used to, I could play that stuff. So I went in a deep bluegrass kind of thing for many, many years until like I was mid-20s, something like that. And then that kind of morphed into like straight ahead country. I got real into chicken picking, and I have been really doing that kind of ever since then. And so I've been predominantly a country player for the past 10 years.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so, like I said, when I hear, and if I don't know, I don't know if you play, but I'm sure a lot of you. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'm sure a lot of your listeners do. But one thing you don't see in a lot of this, if you just want broad strokes, the jam band genre, is you don't see a lot of hybrid picking. People who pick with their pick and their fingers, right? So kind of like a banjo thing, but that is a Nashville country thing. So I do that exclusively for the most part, and so I'm approaching a lot of this stuff as a country player, but with a metal background. And so that's why, like, when I saw Jake in particular, like, do some of those, like, just straight out of Pantera leads, I was totally like, oh my God, this is amazing, because no one does that. No one does it well. Certainly no one does it these days in that type of context. And so that was very cool for me to see, and it's made me, now I've been doing my daily metronome work to get up to speed again, because I used to be able to play that fast and I can't anymore. So, but it makes me want to. But yeah, that's kind of my progression. I grew up a metalhead, and then I got real into bluegrass. That turned into straight ahead country, and that's been kind of my thing ever since then. But I will also note that for 10 years or so, I played in a full-time, like, wedding corporate band in the Mid-Atlantic area. So I had to, and we did like 100+ dates a year. So I had to, my main gig, every Friday, Saturday, and most Sundays, I had to play all the best, hit songs from the era. So I'm very well versed in a bunch of genres. But it's interesting, like your bands like Umphrey's, or even like your classic bands like the Dead. None of those fell into like any of my categories for like, I'm 36, for like the entirety of my life. Like, I had known about these bands. I had like heard their names. Like, I've known of them, but like, this is like brand spanking new to me.
Which makes it even cooler to find something so fresh. So name your top 5 favorite guitarists of all time.
Doc Watson is my favorite guitar player of all time.
Okay.
You know who Doc is? I
do not know.
Doc, he's dead now, but he was a blind Appalachian guitar player, and he's just, for the old country tunes, he's the man. For electric stuff, it is like how I grew up. It was Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, that type of stuff. And my favorite musician of all time is actually a fiddle player. It's Vassar Clements, who played in amongst many other bands. Old and in the Way was a bluegrass, I guess you'd call it like a powerhouse, including, of all people, Jerry Garcia playing banjo. And that was one of my favorite records of all time. And so when I play, I try to constantly go back and forth between that guitar-centric shreddiness of my youth, and then that vocal line sensibility that I got from Doc Watson and like Vassar Clements, of that bluegrass vocal single line style. That's kind of like what I think about when I am improvising.
Nice. So what kind of guitars do you play? Like, what is your go-to? A lot of people are asking me about your equipment, so
Oh
talk
yeah.
about what you play.
Oh my gosh. So they're going to be very disappointed in me because I put basically no weight into gear. Um, uh, I um, I am one of those creatures of habit. So I have only had three basic guitars my whole life. Um, and I don't know if you're going to post a video here, but one of them, like my one I've had back there, that is a PV Wolfgang. That was my metal guitar all through my childhood, adolescence, I should say, and that's got the Bird's Eye maple neck. It's got the Floyd Rose and for the dive bombs, and that's got more mileage on it than anything here. Then my favorite guitar, when I got into the country thing, it's a bizarre guitar, is a 1982 Fender Bullet that is totally beat up. It's had the neck broken off, the truss rods popping out the back. It frets terribly. It's all over the place, but I love it. I got it for like $300, and it's one of those things I couldn't put down. I tell everyone, like, when you're buying a guitar, like you have your budget. That's not really fungible, but like don't look at the brand, don't look at the make, don't look at the model. Just buy the thing that you can't put down, because if you keep it in your hands, you're going to get better. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. So many people are looking for the silver bullet. Like, what's the gear? And it's just, it's in your hands. It's not the gear. Then, yeah. But then for the past 5 or 6 years, I've been playing exclusively Paul Reed Smith guitars. And that has been another totally organic thing that just happened. For those of you that don't know, Paul Reed Smith Guitars is the third largest electric guitar maker behind Gibson and Fender, and they're based here in Maryland. And when I first started teaching online, it just kind of occurred to me that guitars should come with a way to learn them. Like, if people are like these manufacturers are selling things that people need to learn. So I just straight up went to PRS and just said, hey, Paul, guitars should come with the way to learn them. And I had never had a PRS before because they cost a fortune, right? But I've always known that they were like one of the greatest guitars, and I've always wanted to play one, but I've never had like $8,000 to buy a guitar, And but I say all that to say that eventually, because I didn't really take no for an answer, and they let me form this limited, like little partnership, I guess in 2014 or so, and they gave me my first PRS guitar. Now, what is it, 6 years later or something? I'm their primary education partner for online lessons, and so they basically give me whatever. And so all of their guitars are in all my videos. It's not like it's an exclusive deal, but I love their guitars. And so I have a 594 is my favorite. It's back there. It's a and then I have the Silver Sky, which is the Strat type thing that John Mayer made, and then a hollow body. But I'm in a constant rotation of stuff from them, and their stuff stays in tune the best, and it all sounds great. And PRS just they support me as a teacher, which is just freaking amazing. And so
that's very cool.
I just love that company, and that's why I play PRS, because I love them and they love me, and they make great guitars. And I've kind of made my position clear. Like, I don't really think gear is that important anyway. So if you find one or two guitars that you love and you can't put down, and it doesn't matter what it is, just play that one. And so, yeah, I've only played like 3 guitars for 25 years. That's my deal.
That's cool. That's very cool. Has anybody reached out to you about a Jake blade yet?
So no, but I have a friend of mine here that has a Jake blade on his guitar, and he loves it, swears by it. And so when this ban gets lifted, I'm going to bring him over. We're going to do a video together. He's going to let me play it, because now I'm itching to try it. Yeah, I've never seen one of those before. I'm very used to having the bar, but not the blade.
Yeah,
And I
I think you're
noticed
gonna
that
love it.
everybody in the band has that. The other guitar player has it on his too. It's like a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's really cool. Do you know the story of it?
I
Like
would love to
how
know
it
the
was
story
created?
of it.
Okay, so Jake, when he's playing, the whammy bar was in his way. Like he just felt like he was always like kind of hitting it out of the way, and it
Yeah.
was just not working for his flow. So his dad, who is a motorcycle enthusiast, his friend, they got together and made this thing, and it's actually crafted from the exhaust, the part of the motorcycle is what
Really?
the original was made out of. Yeah, and it's this whole like cool thing. And
That is
so they
wild.
like basically invented this thing so that he was able to, play the way that he wanted to play and not have the whammy bar be in the way. So
That is wild. Yeah,
necessity is the mother of invention, I guess, right?
oh, dude, that's how everything gets going. Yeah, that's so cool. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to play one. Like I said, when this whole thing gets lifted, my buddy's
Yeah.
gonna come over and bring it over.
Right.
I'm pumped.
So what would you say is your favorite band of all time?
I mean, that's impossible to pick. But oh man, I actually did a video of like my 10 desert island albums. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Um, I don't know. My favorite band of all time. I mean, it's so like for my early metal years, like just Black Sabbath Reunion. Like I love those heavy songs. I love those heavy albums. I was a Pink Floyd kid. Dark Side of the Moon was amazing.
Have you
Um,
seen any of the Umphrey's covers yet? Have you started to dig into any of that?
I haven't. I've seen the thumbnails on. So I'm in this weird zone right now where it's like I see these thumbnails on YouTube and I'm like, oh my God, I want to stop everything and watch it. But now I'm like, well, maybe I should have the camera on. But I'm doing this. I have this plan. I can't make that video right now. So I'm aware of all these things, but I'm trying to keep all these reactions like totally ice cold. So yeah, I know
Mm-hmm.
that they're out there, but I'm saving them for everybody to watch.
Okay.
Um, because like I'm getting all these requests. It's such a weird thing. I know it's odd.
It's
Um,
it's not odd. I'll tell you my whole story when we're not giving it all to
okay,
the listeners because they've heard it plenty of times, and it's not crazy.
okay, all right. Um, but yeah, what are some other albums I really love? Like I said, the Old and in the Way Breakdown. Uh, and there's some ones you might not guess. Etta James at Last, amazing. Amy Winehouse,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the best album of my generation that I can think of. Like
Mm-hmm.
as far as like totally new, like just out of nowhere, poignant. Like I could listen to that album on repeat, like back to back for days. Um, most of my very favorite, like Van Morrison, Moondance, like most of my very favorite albums um, are not really guitar centric. The most guitar centric one is probably Hendrix Band of Gypsies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, because that's Hendrix Band of Gypsies.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff that I really connect with, like my very favorite stuff, um, is the songs, is the stories, is
Mm-hmm.
the lyrics. Like I am always the stuff that crushes me the most are the slow ballads, simple melodies, incredibly strong stories. You know what I mean? Like that's what I learned from country music. That's what I learned from bluegrass. That's the stuff that the heavy music, um, I didn't get from that. I got all the, the energy from that. But what gets me going more than anything, like super slow, like 6/8, like bluegrass gospel stuff, like three chords and the truth, like just incredibly great singing, perfect harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's my favorite stuff. Like just really, really good songs, stories about real people that I can understand with great singing, great melodies. That's that's my favorite stuff. Not super complicated, not super like totally the opposite. I'm on the hunt for
Mm-hmm.
the inside.
Mm-hmm. That the emotion and that is what I like about Umphrey's, is you get that with Brendan Baylis's lyrics.
Yes, I picked up on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One
So
of my
go ahead.
I was gonna say one of my biggest issues with a lot of these bands that I've been covering outside of the Grateful Dead, like, but in this genre, if you want to put them in this genre, is a lack of actual songs, of actual stories, of actual good singing. And that was like, there's so many things about Umphrey's that stand out, but like whenever it's each person's turn, I feel like, oh my God, like I didn't know that before. Like I didn't know that this guy was such a great singer and an equally good guitar player. Like I didn't, like, there's so many of those things, and I'm excited to dig deep, but like I said, I'm like purposefully limiting myself. It's just odd.
Because it's very easy to fall just headfirst down the rabbit hole.
Totally.
So easy.
And I'm already falling down a few rabbit holes, you know, and one can only be down so many rabbit holes.
So you mentioned to me, we were talking in email and whatever before, that you are going to be at the Baltimore show the end of June. If it happens, I'm hoping, because I'm going to see them like the day before or something. So please let this happen.
I know.
Yeah. So what are you most excited about getting a full Umphrey show? Have you watched a full Umphrey show on YouTube yet?
No, like I said, I've been purposefully limiting myself. This is deliberate. Like
okay.
I'm practicing incredible restraint, and a lot of it has to do with this quarantine thing, because the kids are home. I only have limited hours to like be in my studio. Yeah. I have to create, but I also have to practice. I have to respond to emails, and so like I'm purposefully not listening to new stuff when the camera's not on. It's like a weird part of my life, but I'm kind of digging it. And so I intend to go to that show totally ice cold, like not doing any, like I want to just be hit with it. Whatever happens, I just want to be hit in the face with it. Like that's
nice.
That's what I want. I want tickets close to the front. I want to get some stage sound so I can hear the guitar amps, you know. And
headphones and snow cones. Did anybody mention that to you yet?
No.
Okay.
What is
Headphones and snow cones is a program that Umphrey started, and what it is headphones very similar to what you're wearing right now, and they'll give you this pack and you clip it on you,
and you get
it's
board
from the
sound?
soundboard. It's from the soundboard. I swear to God, I've done it. We've done it a couple times. Because I want to be, you know, in it. And we did it when I was pregnant with my son, who is named Brendan. We named him after Brendan Baylis.
Wow. Okay.
He met Brendan too when he was 6 months old. I have a picture of the two of them. It's
very
so funny.
cool.
It's awesome. But we got him, and I like had him in my stomach and stuff. And go on their website and see if they have them available for that show, because they definitely sell out. They don't have like a ton.
Oh yeah.
So you will get the headphones, and then you're right in the board, and you could be right in the zone.
Do other bands do that? I've never heard of this.
No, they don't. And the cool, like the range is really cool inside. And the one time I used it, like I was in the bathroom peeing, and I have my headphones on, and I'm just like using the bathroom and just listening to the music. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very cool thing. And they only have a few each show. You know, they only have like 10 or something. But
10. Wow.
Yeah, like they don't have a ton, so you have to make sure, like, so definitely like go on their website after, and if they offer it for the show, like
just do it.
I think it's only like $40 too. Like it's really not bad unless you destroy it, but
Oh yeah. No, I won't destroy it. But no, I mean that's very cool.
Yeah, check that out, because it's a very cool experience to just be in there. And
I bet it's a logistical nightmare for the sound people and rounding all those up. But like that, what a cool thing to offer. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean I in general, I like, as a personality type, not knowing what is going to happen and what I'm going to get. Like for example, one of my favorite things to do when my wife and I go out to eat is we don't even look at the menu. Just bring us what you think we should have. You know what I mean? I love that. So when I go to see a band that I've never seen before, I do not pre-listen. I don't check out what the previous set lists were, or no preconceived notions. I just go and I just want to be hit in the face.
That's cool. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen to you when you go there.
Yeah, but I mean this because I'm doing this purposefully. Like whether it's this band or any of the other bands, hopefully that I would like to see this summer if anybody tours. But I'm purposely limiting myself to only listen to new stuff on camera, with the exceptions of a few things that if I'm learning a specific lead and I just can't get it out of my head and I have to learn that lead. So otherwise, I'm going to be going to shows I want to not just the stage and the music, but the scene and the people. This is all of this is new. Mm-hmm. And so I want it to be I want the full immersion. I want to be dropped in the ice. That's what I want.
You want to be dropped among this crowd. That's what you want.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. See, there you go. You got a plug in there.
That's exactly what it's going to be, because I will tell you, we are all super excited to meet you in person.
That's cool.
All of the fan Facebook groups and everything, everybody is super excited to see you at a show. So you will definitely be part of the family right away.
I can't tell you what that means to me. I had someone in my last Umphrey's video say if you can unite a YouTube comment section, it's just unbelievable. Because a lot of these things that I'm learning, I'm not getting them right. You know what I mean? I'm literally guessing, but then I get some of it, but then I keep moving forward. So it's not a 4-hour video. But no one seems to care. Everybody's incredibly positive. There's basically no negative comments. And that's so unbelievable to me. It's the support is the most unbelievable part of all of this.
Absolutely, 100%. I've said that so many times on my show, and I just said this the other day to my friend. It's the support and the response and the love that I've just gotten just with my show, but then also, personally, it's been absolutely amazing. These are people that, the shit hit the fan in the world, and these were the people that I was reaching out to make sure that their family was okay, and stuff like that. It's we are family. That's how we all perceive ourselves within this community, and it's beautiful.
I'm learning that, and that concept that is kind of a new concept in general for me. You know what I mean? Because I think we all, we know that millions of people like the kind of music that we like, et cetera, but it's kind of a personal thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where this whole idea of people counting shows, of people going on tour together, and it's or we're on this couch tour, and you having the podcast, this whole idea of this deeper connection through the music that's real, and it's every day, is mind blowing to me. And it's great. What I really feel like is I was how did I not know this existed for all the other years of my life?
Yeah.
And what else do I not know about?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. You're what else is out there?
It's just so it's so wild. People are sending me emails of dude, I got your tickets, you can ride in my bus, you can stay at my house. And I'm just and they're give me your address. I'll send you some shirts and stuff. And I'm just okay, I gotta have some boundaries here. But are these people for real? Are they?
Yeah,
for real?
They are for real. They are for real.
I know that. I get that vibe.
It is for real. I have friends all over the country that wherever my husband and I go to shows, we have a place to stay. Right. We recently went to Louisville and then Indiana to do a run of shows. and we took my youngest with us. My youngest has been to 15 Umphrey shows, 17 Umphrey shows,
And
and
how old are they?
my youngest is 5. So yeah.
I love it. I'm being a bad parent. I need to bring my kids to shows. Maybe I'll bring one to Baltimore.
Yeah, do it. It's great. Like bring them is a lot of fun. And I've had people, like my friend that lives in Louisville, she had like place set up for my husband and like a little bed set up for my kid, and was just like, come on in and make yourselves at home. And I mean, you don't have that anywhere else.
No. And the fact that it's all stemming from a musical place, that there's something about the music that attracts similar kinds of people that you can trust, and that you can tell your values are similarly, is just a wild concept.
And that's, I think, the biggest reason why I decided to start this show, is showing our differences, because I've had so many different people of age groups and ethnicities and orientations and different jobs and moms and all these different people, but yet we're all in this family together, and it's beautiful to see all the different people, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I love it. I've only dipped a pinky toe in, but I can tell that it's genuine, and it's genuinely appreciated by me. Like I said, this kind of all started for me for being burnt out, and burnt out on guitar, and burnt out on the internet thing, and to be kind of welcomed by this, warm, embracement, is exactly what I needed, on a personal level. And so I think that it is genuine, because it's genuine for me. This feels real and organic, and it's just bizarre. It's unexpected. I couldn't have foresaw this. What a strange course of events. And like you said, everybody's got a story like this, and it's all whatever. But it seems to be real for everyone, and everyone seems to have that story. Everyone seems to remember that moment. It's wild. It's just freaking wild.
It is wild, and it's really cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, I totally concur. Totally.
And we're super stoked to have you as part of the family now.
Well, thank you. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I'm hopefully going to Baltimore. If that doesn't happen, if things get pushed, and I'm just gonna go try to do that one in New York. But if neither of those happen, if things start rolling again in the fall, I'll definitely be at the first one that's in close driving distance. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, this has been wonderful. Before we finally wrap it all up, let all the listeners know where they can follow you on social media, where they can find your YouTube page, all of that stuff, where everybody can find you.
Yeah, so my handle on everything is Guitargate, Guitargate. That's the name of my website. That's like the mothership. That's where I have all my courses. That's where I spend 80% of my day. But then YouTube, all the videos are on YouTube. Search Guitargate. Instagram, Guitargate. My Instagram is a little different. The Instagram, I'm kind of like documenting my personal journey. So I do an Instagram live every morning after I work out, where I do like guitar exercises, and you get to see my, dedication to like getting better. So it's not like produced videos or all my courses. It's like you get to see me working on me, and so I do that with the goal of if other people see me trying to get better, maybe they'll pick up the thing and do the same as well. But everything is Guitargate. I'm also on Facebook, although I really am not on Facebook that much anymore, for a whole host of reasons. But I'm in a few groups, and I share some kid pictures, but besides that, I kind of run for the hills and try to avoid the negativity. But yeah, my whole thing is my website, guitargate.com, You can watch my videos on YouTube, search Guitargate, and then on Instagram you can kind of watch my daily personal guitar workout kind of journey, and that's Guitargate as well.
Awesome, very awesome. Well, this was awesome. Thank you so
Sarah,
much for your time.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. I hope we get to meet in person at a show. And
I saw the Baltimore show was on the weekend, so I'm like, well, Baltimore's only 8 hours away. We could definitely make it happen.
Well, I can tell you this much. I know Southwest has like everything for $49 right now, because like the airlines are just struggling big time. And so I was talking to my wife. I was like, maybe we should just book some stuff. And if we don't go, they have free cancellation. So let's just book some stuff.
Yeah.
Because literally everything's $50 right now.
Yeah, and as soon as everything starts going, it's going to go up to quadruple the price. So
yeah, exactly.
Because everybody's going to want to move, leave.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For sure.
But yeah, I love this. Thank you so much. And for all your listeners, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and being so supportive. And I can't wait to meet some of you in person.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is really, really great.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. And congratulations again on the birth of your son. That's going to be super exciting.
Oh, it's just the loony bin, but it's great.
Yeah. Just add some more chaos into there during the quarantine. Why not?
I mean, why not? It's just the quarantine. It's the coronavirus. No one's in school. We're trying to make.
Let's just throw a newborn in there.
Yeah, why not? Because we don't need it quiet to film or anything. All right. Well, nice to meet you. Have a great day. Thanks again for having me.
You too. You too. Take care.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.